Nerderotic.com.
Welcome back to Nerdrotic. My name is Gary Beekler, and I come to you from Nerdrotic.com, and this is a Nerdrotic special report. Bad news, DC fans. The DC Universe streaming service is done. Now, this wasn't reported a bunch of places that I saw. Thank you, Matthew Matson, for sending me this from Star News Online. Swamp Thing to shut down production early. Swamp Thing has been filming in Wilmington since November 2018 and was expected to film through May on its 13-episode first season. The future of the show is now in doubt as producer Warner Brothers evaluates the future of the DC Universe platform the show would premiere on. Sources: production of DC Universe's Wilmington shot series to end early as Warner Brothers evaluates future of the DC Universe streaming service. Wilmington, the locally filmed television series Swamp Thing, has found itself bogged down, oh god, you're fired, by some unexpected news. The currently in production project is being shut down earlier than expected as its producer, Warner Brothers, evaluates the future of the DC Universe streaming service on which the series was scheduled to premiere on May 31st, according to several sources within the local industry. And this puts all the other shows in doubt as well, as Titans is shooting its second season. I doubt it would get a third or get brought into the AT&T/WB streaming service, and Doom Patrol as well. So if they're shutting down Swamp Thing, look for news that they're going to be shutting down these two shows as well as they reevaluate. In other words, cancel DC Universe and start the WB streaming service. Local crew members were notified of the unexpected development Tuesday night and were told the project would wrap production on episode 10 and then halt as writers and producers rewrite an ending. Initially, the show was scheduled to film 13 episodes through May. It is unclear that the new ending would be shot in Wilmington, though several more days of reshoots for previously filmed episodes are expected. The series has made significant investments in the region, estimating it would spend around $85 million locally on its entire first season, according to the film grant applications filed with the state. The production occupies multiple sound stages and offices on the EUE Screen Gems Studios lot and has built a massive swamp set on stage 10, which houses a water tank for filming. When the series signed on to the area last fall, it did so with the intentions of putting roots down for multiple seasons. With filming being shuttered, it is not clear what the future of the show will be if the DC Universe service is scrapped. Warner Brothers could potentially sell the completed project to a different network or streaming service, but it is unclear if that option is on the table. One possibility is Warner Media's own streaming service with AT&T, which is currently in the works, and that is why this is being scrapped, folks. The news comes closely on the heels of Disney announcing its major new streaming platform, Disney Plus, or as I like to call it, D+, which will debut multiple series tied to its billion-dollar brands like Star Wars, Pixar, and Marvel, mostly being prequels, by the way. Not moving any of these franchises forward, but I digress. The direct competitor of DC, the service will launch on November 12th with a $6.99 monthly price tag and more than half a dozen series available on day one. Meanwhile, Warner Brothers' relatively quiet launch of DC Universe last October has only seen two live-action series premiere: Titans, the ungodly woke mess, written by Akiva Goldman, and Doom Patrol, which was really good up until 2 episodes when again went full on woke. Swamp Thing would be the third, and unfortunately, we'll probably get a woke Swamp Thing. And that is the problem, folks, and I will get to that in a second. The news is a blow to the positive upswing in the local film industry that has handed several projects in the last year, with more potentially looming on the horizon. The next series to film locally is some Hulu show that I don't care about. Based on the DC Comics series, Swamp Thing stars Crystal Reed and Abby Arcane, a scientist who turns home to Halma, Louisiana, to investigate a deadly swamp-borne virus, only to develop a bond with scientist Alec Halden, Andy Bean, who will be transformed into the elemental hero, the Swamp Thing. The series also stars Virginia Madsen, Jennifer Beals, Will Patton, Derek Mears, Ian Ziering, Henderson Wade, and Kevin Durand. This is the big deal, folks. This was probably going to be a pretty good show if they didn't go full-on woke. It is being executive produced by James Wan, who directed The Conjuring locally in 2012, and Len Weissman, who produced and directed Fox's Sleepy Hollow series, which had an amazing first season, then went off the cliff, which shot its first 2 seasons in Wilmington. I'm not sure if this is the first casualty of the streaming wars, but it's one of the first, and as I've said on this channel, the streaming wars will be over before they begun. Now, Netflix and Amazon are miles, light years ahead of everybody, even Disney, because they have their platforms fine-tuned. I have been a proponent of this service. I actually watched a lot of stuff on it. I liked some of the older movies. I liked some of the older shows. The quality was a bit janky, but I figured they would work that out. There was a bunch of comics on it. My kid watched the cartoons. It was a pretty good streaming service, but I understand completely why it failed because they started out with Titans. Titans was a hot mess. They should have known from the trailer they shouldn't have started with that show. They should have known not to hire Akiva Goldsman. Akiva Goldsman, who wrote and ran Titans. Akiva Goldsman, who brought us Batman and Robin, the horrible remake of Lost in Space, Sonar in Space, and Star Trek Discovery. Akiva Goldsman has now killed the Batman franchise and an entire streaming service, and hopefully he will kill another streaming service because he is currently in charge of the Picard show on CBS All Access, but people never learn and keep hiring this hack. Now, Doom Patrol, which was a better show than Titans, and they should have probably led with that, went full on woke the last 2 episodes and has completely had me dip out of the show. And I think you can file this under Get Woke, Go Broke, as well as being one of the first casualties of the streaming wars. Another problem this platform had was deciding what it wanted to be. It's DC Universe. It has animated versions of superhero shows. It's got comic books on it. And it has R-rated TV shows. They start out Titans with Robin stabbing a guy in the dick with a pair of scissors, and they start out Doom Patrol with Brendan Fraser having a woman bent over a table. I don't want my kids watching this stuff. So you also need to decide what you want it to be, an adult service or a kid service. And that's why I didn't want Doom Patrol going full on woke either, because my kids just aren't going to watch that crap. I feel bad for the DC fans. They can't get a break, and that is a good fan base. That is a good loyal fandom, and they just don't get what they deserve because Warner Brothers has never known what to do with the DC comic book characters or the Warner Brothers cartoon characters. I think DC Universe thought it would be good just to be first, but not put any money into anything, and it's pretty clear they were pretty broke. And when AT&T bought Warner Brothers, I figured something like this would happen, and I am not surprised. Look for more streaming services to die before they get started as well, and more of these companies are going to have to work with Netflix and Amazon because they will have no choice. Disney is the big player in this as far as the B group, but they are not the A group. Netflix and Amazon are miles ahead, and that's going to be something Hollywood is going to have to deal with in the future. Thanks for listening to this Nerdrotic special report. Please go to nerdrotic.com for my live stream schedule. Have a great day, and may the small folks sing songs of your greatness.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.